You guys in the Gambia?
That's fine. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry. I can say that. Yeah.
All right.
That's fine. Just bear with me some few more seconds. Let's a minute. Let me be trying to go live.
Okay.
Because this connection is bad on my end.
BB is going to join us, he said, in 20 minutes.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
Yes, you need to stop closing the door.
$1 million, maybe from around. So we don't have to take the price of it.
All right. Okay. It's a little bit funny here. On my app, it's showing me connecting, but we are basically live already on my Facebook. So I think we'll just. Facebook, so we're gonna go straight away.
Dr. Jaban, can you see me?
Yeah. Can you? Wow, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. I think we're good to go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just share my screen a bit and just get the stuff playing.
It's also like any things go.
Okay, fellow Gambians and everyone that is watching this program, we are back today in a very unique way. Today is the World Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus Day, and it is a day that is set aside worldwide to commemorate spina bifida and hydrocephalus. And it's also a day that is used to create awareness for every individual that is suffering from spina bifida and hydrocephalus. So in the Gambia, we thought it very, very prudent to organize these short commemoration, which is obviously going to be virtual. I thought it wise to also just put this there that we can see what spina bifida.
Because this man has been coming here.
Other important thing that we are going to have today is the fact that over the past few months, there has been an organization, a charitable non-profit organization based in Charlotte by the Keita family, who have been working tirelessly to ensure that patients that are born with spina bifida and those that will have hydrocephalus, either born with it or who would acquire it later, are given the optimal treatment. And so today we would go very short as we would invite them who are part of this presentation. So part of the discussion today is going to be based on what the Lamin Keita Hope has been doing. Like I said in the previous videos, ever since we had the inception of the Lamin Keita's Hope, it has become a beacon of hope for every individual and every child in the Gambia that is suffering from spina bifida and hydrocephalus. And I'm happy today to invite everyone that is here. So I think I will just do a little thing for people to introduce themselves. Yep. I know that some people don't like to come on, but everybody will have to introduce himself. So anyway, I'm John N. Jabang. So I'm a consultant neurosurgeon, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, a pediatric neurosurgeon also. And I am the chairperson of the local chapter of the Lamin Keita's Hope non-profit organization in the Gambia. So I will just let the roll go and everybody introduce yourself. Okay.
I'm Charno. I'm an advanced practice clinician that's practicing in the United States. And I work inpatient, outpatient with emergency medicine, internal medicine, neurobehavioral medicine. And I am currently in Gambia. And John and I have been pretty much having our hands wet with a lot of activities in the Gambia in terms of health promotion with the COVID now, with this organization that we have been engaged and involved with for several months now. And so I am part of the executive members of the board of the association. I will let the next person introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
My name is Fatou Job Keita, and I'm the president and CEO and one of the founders of Lamin Keita's Hope, which is our dream nonprofit organization, especially in the Gambia. That's our first chapter. And thank you, everybody, for everything you've been doing, supporting us and contributing and donating. You can please visit our website to know more about us, www.laminkettershope.com. Thank you, and you will hear more from us.
All right, my name is Keita. I'm the co-founder of Lamin Keita's Hope, non-profit organization. Thank you everybody for all the help you've been doing, your time, what you're doing in Gambia. Thank you everybody.
Hello, everybody. This is Bakari Dabo, one of the board members of the Lamin Keita Hope, right in Seattle, Washington. It's great to be here. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you, Dr. Jamo.
Is Faba on or? Okay, all right. So, Faba, once you come on, we will get to you. So, everyone that is watching, today we celebrate Spina Bifida and hydrocephalus. These are two distinctive disease processes or malformations that affect people, especially kids. And I would start just by giving an introduction of what Spina Bifida is. And I will also talk about hydrocephalus. And then Dr. Ba would give us the burden of these diseases in the Gambia. And then we will also let the public know what the Lamin Keita Hope has been doing ever since its inception in terms of managing patients with spina bifida and hydrocephalus. So spina bifida, as we say, is a birth defect. Kids have it during conception. That's to say when they are in the womb and there is a defect, and then they are born with that defect. And that defect ranges from mild forms to very severe forms. And what we see, most of them, what we call myelomeningocele, and these are the severe forms, they make up close to 80 to 90. Small is that these defects can either affect the spinal cord, obviously, and or even affect the nerves. And when they affect the nerves and when they affect the spinal cord, remember the nerves are responsible for one to walk, the nerves are responsible for one to have feeling, the nerves are responsible for one to be able to urinate and control his urine. The nerves are responsible for one to be able to go to toilet and control how you go to toilet. So you can imagine in these children when all these things are destroyed, depending on what grade they may have. So these are the children that will surely need help all through their life. And so to now have an organization coming in to help, that is indeed, a noble task. So people that have spina bifida, what do we do to them now? Some of them would have, in the severe forms, they will have different type of problems. So one of the problems we would refer to would be orthopedic problems. So they would have problems with their legs, okay? And some of them may not be able to walk. Some of them may have weakness of their legs. Some of them may quite be lucky and they will be okay, their legs will be strong. The second problem you may have with them also is a problem of what we call sphincter control, meaning some may not be able to control their urine. So they'll just pass the urine without even realizing that they are passing urine on themselves. The same thing also applies to their stool. They are not able to control their stool. So until the time they are big, they will just be on pampers and all that. So again, you have some of them would also develop other complications. So other complications that may exist are those of hydrocephalus. And that I will just talk about, hopefully, once I'm done talking about spina bifida. Now, the management of any patient with spina bifida is what we call a multidisciplinary management. That is to say that you need a neurosurgeon to come and operate on the child. In fact, sometimes when their defects are big, you even need a plastic surgeon to come alongside to operate with the neurosurgeons to help close the defect. Because if the defect is not closed, then they would have leaks. And once they have leaks, they have infections. And when they have infections, then that becomes in some way imminent. Yes, so the neurosurgeon is needed. They are the first port of call to come and close the defect. And once they close the defect, then you need different people that need to come. You need the orthopedic surgeons to help, especially when they have problems with their legs. You also would need a urologist to help, especially when they have problems with their urine. You obviously need a pediatrician to be there with you to help these patients with their needs and everything. And in that way, you are able to give them a holistic management. Now, what we have not been able to achieve, and that is what the Lamin Keita Hope is also bringing in to help us manage these patients in the Gambia holistically. And through the Lamin Keita Hope, we are gradually reaching out. We are trying to get the team, that will be made up of the neurosurgery, urology, orthopedics, and physiotherapy, which is very, very, very important because these kids will need for their lifelong time, some good physiotherapy. And one of the things that the Lamin Keita Hope is bringing today and bringing to the Gambia is this whole holistic management and the holistic approach. So basically, these kids or women that have spina bifida and spina bifida, it's been shown in several studies that the use of folic acid, that's what they give obviously during pregnancy, has proven to reduce the incidence. So as a result, one of the things that we will do also at Lamin Keita's Hope is to advocate for the use of folic acid. And in fact, now people have moved on from just folic acid supplementation to food fortification. And those are plans that the Lamin Keita Hope has put in place so that we are able to engage government, we are able to engage NANA, we are able to engage anybody that has a stake or say in the nutritional status of the nation to see how best we can be able to fortify at least rice. If you fortify rice in the Gambia, then you are good because that's our staple food and that's what we do. So basically, this is what spina bifida is, and this is what the treatment is. When we come to the second disease that I'm going to close on, which is hydrocephalus. So hydrocephalus is a disease that can either be acquired while the child is in the womb, or it could, which is what we call congenital, or it could be an acquired form that the child had, let's say after he was born. And what do we mean by hydrocephalus? We simply mean that there is a disorder in the fluid that is inside the brain. And that disorder makes that fluid to accumulate and build up. And because kids or neonates, their sutures, their heads are not fully tight or closed like it is in adults, they still have some gaps between them. When that pressure builds up, what it leads to, it's nothing but actually to increase, the size of the head. Increment in size of the head may not be an issue, but what is the big issue is that more fluid inside the brain means less brain inside the head. And less brain inside the head basically means that that child cannot be very functional as a normal child. Because everything we do, everything we say, everything, our thoughts, our intellect, it's all dependent on our brain matter. And so if that brain matter is all destroyed by water or by cerebrospinal fluid, then these are kids, who would not be able to reach their milestones at a time in which they should reach. And some of them may not even for the rest of their life reach their milestones. So we used to see that patients that have hydrocephalus, in fact, it is seen patients that have spina bifida, especially myelomeningocele, they will tell you that more than 50% of them, would develop hydrocephalus, or some studies have gone close to about 80% of them would develop hydrocephalus. So the same single condition should be managed holistically. Now, the treatment of these patients that have hydrocephalus has two major ways of treating. One is to put what we call a shunt, which is a pipe. The second approach is what we call an endoscopic approach. Now, if I just want to go through the evolution of shunting in the Gambia. Now, we never had shunts in the Gambia, and we used to, I remember those days when we come around and patients are seen that have hydrocephalus, We have to write for them. We have to tell the family they need to go to Dakar. They need to get a doctor there who need to prescribe it for them, and then they need to buy it in Dakar, and then they need to come over here. And with time, we had to discuss, obviously, with and I want to be very grateful to them also, Shadia Shalop of Stop Step and the We Care for You Foundation, and they took the pain to go get these materials so that people can easily buy them here readily and available. And I want to just say thanks to them for that. And when the Lamin Keita Hope came, it had helped us really much more, because they were able to contact the Stop Step pharmacy, and who were able to go buy them in bulk, and it was easy for people to actually get it from them. Sometimes, you know, it's a big issue. I have remembered situations where we needed to put a shunt for a patient and we didn't have it, okay, and we lost that patient. So as a doctor, you have certain situations in your life that you know are very that actually puts a mark. And so that's why it's important. All these players, we want to say thank you to all of them. Yes, they are in business, but then you can't compare whatsoever gains that they may have to the life of one single individual. And in fact, they don't even have the gains, because sometimes I remembered I asked them buy these things, and I have traveled and I have gone, and those things are not used again and all that. But again, all in all, this is how we have evolved. But with the Lamin Keita Hope, things have become very stable. We've been able to have the chance to be able to do this patient. The other thing that I want to say in terms of a change in the paradigm of treatment is the use of the endoscope, and that I would be very grateful to the Central Bank of the Gambia. So to also say that Central Bank of the Gambia, when we approached them, they were able to buy us this endoscope through the leadership of Governor Jammeh, then Governor Jammeh, if I could say it really correctly, and Ensa Drame and other people who work in the central bank, who had been absolutely amazing, and they've been able to buy it for us. So now we could be able to manage these patients in a very in a very good way, and in a very standard way. So in a nutshell, this is basically what Spina Bifida is, and this is basically what hydrocephalus is. I can tell you that in our pediatric clinics, if we see 20 patients, 7 of them would be Spina Bifida or hydrocephalus. So that shows you how much it is in the Gambia. And that shows you also the work that the Lamin Keita Hope has taken upon themselves. It is a very big work. And in fact, I would like to end by this statement. Now, they will tell you that if you want to be a very busy pediatric neurosurgeon, you only need to operate 100 hydrocephalus. It will keep you, they will keep you busy throughout the year. This one will come with an infection, that one will come with disconnection, that one will come with this one will come with that. Every now and then, that's that. So, and anytime they come, it is the foundation that is here to help them. So what we have done over the short time that we have been, and I would summarize with that, the Lamin Keita Hope started helping us in the Gambia in July of this year. And within a period of 2 weeks, we had been able to, triple what we were doing. Why? Because the cost of treating these children is expensive. The shunt costs $6,500. Right now, as I talk to you, there is the CT scans. Okay, well, maybe I'm made to understand that the technicians are around. But so if I would backtrack and say from last week, okay, both Serekunda and Banjul CT scans were all spoiled. So thanks be to God, batch diagnostic was here. So they came to our rescue, okay? And for a child, if you want to do a scan and also buy a shunt, it would cost you $10,000. So you ask yourself a question, how many families would be able at one go to just give $10,000? And if we go over some of the things that Lamin Keita Hope have been doing, they've spent in some single patients more, close to $30,000 just for a single patient in terms of the management. So what the foundation, what the organization needs is for us to give them every support, okay? So I'm calling upon individuals in the Gambia, I'm calling upon organizations, cell phone companies, Gamcell, AfriCell, QCell, philanthropists in this country, GRA, Ports, and every other person. There is a group known as the Lamin Keita Hope non-profit organization. They are doing a phenomenal job. Supporting them is just supporting the needy, the most needy, the sick in this country. On the occasion of this celebration, I want to wish all our patients well. I want to wish their families well. Yeah, once in a while, you would have some cases that you would have results that you would not be expecting. And we want to send our condolences to them. For those that are still on the struggle, we want to tell them and to reassure them that we are here with the Lamin Keita Hope, and we are here for them. Okay, it is difficult, yes, but we are here for them, and we want to also thank them for having confidence in us and confiding their people to us. Finally, I want to also thank the local chapter, Auntie Hadi Job George, who is our secretary and treasurer, doing a fantastic job. I also want to thank Mr. Lamin Kamara, who is our PRO, and he's doing a very, very fine job. So if you have any child, please, with a big head, don't allow them to keep him in the community. Don't allow them to think that it's going to be something. Anyway, we will detail that when we come in the next few weeks to talk about that. Just bring them, go to Banjul, they will be registered and they will manage. I also want to thank Dr. Lamin Damfa, and who is the main medical officer, and other doctors that work along with me, and Teneng, who is our clerk. I just want to say thank you to all of them and everyone. If I forget any other person, it's human. So thank you all. I just want to pass the short message to Dr. Ba.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. I think, you've said a lot and have covered a whole range of some pathophysiology of the spina bifida and hydrocephalus, and all the circumstances around the organization that we've been struggling with in trying to establish, and hoping that it will continue to have an impact. And you've mentioned quite a lot about all the things that this organization at the local chapter level has been doing, and the contribution it's been that it's done so far has just, I mean, it's amazing to think about all the benefits. When you mention about how in the past people used to be referred to go to Senegal, and just the travel time, the money involved, and this is all part of the next part of the discussion that I'm going to be making, which is the burden on spina bifida has, especially in middle and low socioeconomically income countries around the world, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa. And so, so seeing the paradigm shift in and what has changed over time, and how this organization is coming to contribute. In fact, in our whole agenda, some of the things that have been repeatedly mentioned, even in more advanced organizations that are focused on spina bifida and hydrocephaly, and that is three important things: partnership, evidence-based practice, and and the whole collaboration was just phenomenal. And we have been undertaking this thing as well. And so thank you very much for kind of broadening the discussion and keeping us all, I guess, continually energized to continue to work for this organization. I cannot imagine how it is like for other families. And so, the Keita family, you have no idea all what you've done and all what you're doing even if it ends just here, the little that we've already done is enough to say you've already contributed to so many people's life. Because if you look at the burden of spina bifida and hydrocephalus, it is just phenomenal, because the burden sometimes go beyond socioeconomic factors. It goes beyond the psychological effect, the physical disability that people endure just from being diagnosed with this disease or illness from birth, or some people having a very premature death as a result of this disease or illness, and for this organization to come in and do what it can to help change the trajectory of that, you cannot begin to imagine how important it is and how much work you are already doing. So like I was saying, even if it were to end here, you've already done a lot. Across the globe, if you look at what is happening with spina bifida and hydrocephalus, in reality, there are countries around the world that are still experiencing this, that are developed countries, at a significantly higher rates, much more in countries that are underdeveloped, and have a very low socioeconomic status. So the burden it varies primarily on a lot of or multitude of factors. And what I would say is, what we got to understand is most countries, particularly in the sub-Saharan Africa, don't have good data to track and monitor what's been happening. So even for those countries that are able to give out some data, which gives of the prevalence rate of how much burden this has on communities, it's kind of hard to track, because we are only able to track with those who come into the hospitals. Those who do not come into the hospitals, we do not know what's happening out there in the communities. And so these numbers are not actually realistic numbers when it comes to sub-Saharan Africa. We don't have good data, and most people don't even reach out in the hospital. You will find them crumbling at home or even dying early. So that's one of the challenge that the burden of this disease or illness has, not only in families or among families, but also within the health system as well, and in terms of monitoring and getting a good data, because the science behind all the systems that is supposed to be able to create a proactive measures, preventative measures, faces challenges. So the burden is financial. The burden is, socioeconomic issues. The burden is, psychological. The burden is just the physical disability. The burden is just too many to talk about. But for us in sub-Saharan Africa, one of the challenges that we have is actually just being able to figure out and find out who has this illness and how can we help people who has the illness. In Gambia, when I was looking around some data, what was challenging was you couldn't even find anything that talks about this in West Africa. All the data that are available talks about sub-Saharan African countries, but particularly in countries that have a little bit more developed systems compared to the system that we have in Gambia. But Dr. Jabang has done a great job in giving us some data, several months ago to kind of give us a snapshot of how many people who actually ends up getting the good care from the get-go, from when they are born. Because we know from the time you are born, the longer it takes to get in contact with the health system and get help, you know, the worse this illness is gonna get you. So it means that outcomes really worsens with the longer time it takes before you get help. But like I was mentioning earlier, you know, the evidence-based practice information that we have, the health system in the Gambia is very, you know, it's challenging. I wouldn't say it's poor, it's bad, or anything like that, but it's challenging. The system, you know, is challenged by a lot of factors. And one of the things that we have as citizens who are either practicing here or practicing outside is to do our part in helping, you know, efforts like what the Keita family is doing to mitigate all some of these challenges, because hydrocephalus and Spina Bifida is preventable. You know, if we go around and start doing, you know, educating young women who are childbearing age, talking to them about the importance and the usefulness of folic acid. I mean, all it takes is just take a folic acid, whether you are expecting to be pregnant or not. And so the chances that you are going to have a birth that is going to have a neural tube defect is going to be very low. So you could see, even if we have a very weak or a challenging health system, we can still do a lot in reducing the burden of this illness. So I cannot, you know, begin to mention how, you know, important it is for everyone's contribution, for everyone's effort, for everybody's help in one way or the other. You know, when Dr. Jaban and I were talking about this COVID, you know, when we were talking about the COVID and saying how it is important to understand that to prevent, to mitigate the challenges of COVID, it is not just the responsibility of the doctors or of the government or of the minister. It is the responsibility of every citizen of the country, just like the Keita family is doing. So I think all we have to do is to supplement the effort of the Keita family. You know, in developed countries, you will have about one birth defect, a neural tube defect, such as the hydrocephalus or Spina Bifida, in every 1,000 births. You know, you go to other developing countries, you have a worse, and you have other countries where you can't even track. And like in Gambia here, it's even challenging to track for people who give birth at home and who may end up developing these problems. So, but I think what we're already doing in coming out and having to help out families, supplement the effort of the government, supplement the effort of other, you know, non-governmental organizations that are putting their hands on deck to help, you know, not only prevent, but also help manage, because it takes so many processes, it takes so many systems, it takes so many specialties to manage one child with this birth defect. So that's why collaboration is a key, you know, like Dr. Jaban was talking about. Sometimes you have to involve the neurosurgeon. Sometimes you have to involve, you know, the nephrologist. You have to involve the, you know, the physiotherapist. You have to involve the general medicine practitioner or the internal medicine provider. So you have so many people that these people have to go through to get better and to improve their lives and to live a better, successful life. In fact, what is been known is that once people start getting help, follow-up was the worst, because studies have found actually that 81% of all who've had contact and from an initial state, and you know, for with a neural tube defect such as Spina Bifida or hydrocephalus, once they get help at the beginning, they don't have a proper follow-up. And what evidence have shown, almost 81% of all cases don't have proper follow-up. So you could imagine. But part of it is because of all the burden involved, financial, travel time, you know, specialties, you know, people who are specialized in one area who the child needs care from are not available, and all of those challenges. So the burden on the family, I'm sure when the Keita family speak, they can share with you more on the burden they have in taking care of their own child who experiences this illness or this disease. So you could imagine how hard it is from a family standpoint, much more from a community or from a health system standpoint. So the burden is multifactorial burden, and then it really ranges from whether initially it was a mild presentation or whether it was a moderate or a severe presentation. So just not to keep talking about a whole different things regarding the burden of spina bifida across sub-Saharan Africa. All I want to say is there is a significant number of cases that have been detected, that have been, that have been found to actually, even though the numbers are going down in sub-Saharan Africa, there still continue to be a burden on families, on healthcare system, and also in the communities where you have these kids who may be born with such a kind of ailment. So what I will do is I will just, Dr. Jabang, I will just let Fatu Job and her husband share a little bit more from a personal perspective on the burden, and also kind of share with us with some of the efforts and the things that the organization have been doing in terms of, changing lives of others. And so on that note, I would just say, please, everybody out there listening, whether you're in the Gambia or outside of the Gambia, we cannot, say no to any amount of support that you are willing to provide, financially or even in kind. So we are looking forward and asking for your help, because every little bit of spending or effort or contribution you make, you can be rest assured is going to go a long way in changing the life of someone out here in the Gambia. And on that note, I thank you all and hope that you will all continue to do the best you can in supporting our organization so that we can continue to live and help change the life of other people around the world, and particularly in the Gambia. Thank you. Dr. Jabba.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Ba. I can't be said any further. I think the burden, like you mentioned, is enormous. It's absolutely enormous, and it's important for people to know these burdens so that they would understand, the magnitude of help that the Lamin Keita Hope has brought to them. So, without much ado, we would just want to hear from the CEO herself and the husband. So we would want to give them the floor. I'm seeing they're having separate cameras. They're still social distancing in their house, right? That's fantastic. Still Corona, let's not forget. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Keita, the floor is yours. Separate cameras. They're still social distancing in their house. Right? That's fantastic.
Hello and Assalamu alaikum, and thank you everyone for celebrating this wonderful day with us, which is World Recognized Spina Bifida Day, October 25th, 2020, this year. This year, actually, my focus will be on hope and courage. Lamin Keita's Hope wants to bring awareness, hope, and courage. And our condolences go to those who are not with us. But for those with us, our warriors, we are telling you guys the fight is not, you are not alone in the fight. We are all in it with you. And the Lamin Keita team will do everything we could to carry our mission, which is very important. And the other thing I wanted to say too, because Gambia is our first chapter, that's why we are focused on in the Gambia right now. But we live in the United States, in North Carolina. So we do have programs and things to do here, but due to Corona, we are not able to. But the only one we could do right now is to join the Spina Bifida Association in the walk and roll, which we celebrate every year. And the other thing would be, as Charno and Dr. Jabang mentioned, it's like a social responsibility for everyone, not just Lamin Keita's Hope or founders of Lamin Keita's Hope. The Gambia, the good thing, we are small and we are always together. So that togetherness, can we please support and show the Spina Bifida kids that they are not alone. Spina Bifida comes along with hydrocephalus, and some hydrocephalus don't have Spina Bifida, but they kind of go together. It comes with a lot of responsibilities. That was one of the reasons why me and my husband and our team really focus on helping kids born with Spina Bifida. We all know the Gambia, especially poor families are more affected, and it's very hard to get the 10,000 last Dr. Jabang mentioned. So we are kindly asking the general public and everybody, please join us in our mission to help save lives and give them the quality life that they need, because it comes with a lot of complications. But together with courage and helping them, they can be the leaders of tomorrow. And the main thing, there are many ways that you can support, especially now with nonprofits. There is a lot of stuff going on. Please visit different places. You can recommend our nonprofit, which we will still get money out of it. You can visit our page, which I think Didu will elaborate on. Like our page, you can contribute even $5. $5 go a long way, because all we are doing involves money, and we are counting on you guys. Money goes a long way. I know money is not everything, as we always say, but with the treatment of Spina Bifida, money goes a long way, because it makes treatment easy. It encourages families to come back for the follow-up, knowing that their cost is being covered. And this will really help us track the data of those who get Spina Bifida as we go from chapter to chapter. And this will give the parents. And the other thing I wanted to talk about today is for the support can come in many ways, but especially within family members. And we can't do it all as a woman. So men, please, I can't tell you guys without my husband's help how I would have coped with everything, with appointments, with a lot of care that they need. So back home, please, when your wife is cooking, get the baby, born with the baby, help. That will help a lot. It will reduce stress. It will give courage, and it will give love and bonding between father and son, or father and daughter. And thank you all. And Dr. Jabang, we can't thank you enough, and your team, and the stress it has reduced for having you as a neurosurgeon, instead of going all the way to Dakar with the expense and another stress going to a foreign country, and all the potential partners that help us with the supplies and those who have been helping before us. Please join us to the fight. Together, we can reduce the risk of spinal bifida, and together we can help the ones that are affected to have a quality of life. Thank you very much.
I'm not saying too much, because by the job I've saying a lot, and I'm not a good person who talk a lot. So I'm not a good talker. I'm going to say thank you, everybody, especially all the donors who have given us their money, trust us, give us their money. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Gambian chapter, Dr. Jabang and the group Chorno. You've been there for a while. Auntie Hadi, Mod Lamin, thank you very much for your time, updating us what's going on, always answering our text, phone calls. So thank you. As my wife said, Spina Bifida don't come easy and it don't come cheap. The kids need a lot of help. So if anybody can help, please help us to show these kids that they're not alone. We're there to help them so they make their life easier. So help if you can. Any amount help. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Keita. At the beginning, I thought you were social distancing, but I guess you broke the rule, right, for the occasion. Anyway, we can't also thank you enough. I mean, coming up with the initiative. Like I said, when we started these discussions at the preliminary times, one of the main things that would help health systems in the Gambia, especially specialties that are rare. You know, you talk about neurosurgery and other specialties that are rare. That has been considered, and for long, neurosurgery has been considered as a specialty of luxury. So if you go today to an African government and you tell them that, well, we want to train 5 neurosurgeons, they would rather train, 50 neurosurgeons than even train 50 general surgeons than even train a single neurosurgeon. And that had been the whole idea, and it had cost us quite a lot. And so one of the ways in which we that find ourselves in very rare specialties try to ensure that we give good and optimal service and care to our patient is to form support groups. And that was why Fatu reaching out, Fatu and her husband, reaching out to us to say, look, we want to have this Lamin Keita's Hope that should be responsible for management of Spina Bifida and hydrocephalus. That has taken care of, I can tell you, in terms of pediatric neurosurgery, in our own part of the world, you've taken care of almost 30% of anything that we are going to do, if not more. So we can't be more proud of you, the Keita family. And we think that if everyone else, supports this initiative, support this work, I mean, we would be able to achieve a lot. Like Dr. Ba made mention, it's not only on government to do it all. We have to also do it. And this is basically what we are doing. And I think it will be fine. I would just want to get, Bibi is on. Bibi, if you could say some few things regarding the Lamin Keita's Hope, how can people find us? Any other, if people want to donate, if people want to get in touch with us, and also if you have, obviously, some nice words to say to everyone that should be able to get us something. Bibi, most welcome. Yeah, Bibi, so they know how to cover some people,
I'm not Body Bunker, man.
All right, Bibi, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Job. Thank you, Fat Job. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Well, you guys are the expert. You guys already talked about everything that is entailed and with the Spina Bifida situation. My focus here today, at my main role, is to tell people the reality. You guys already mentioned it. Spina Bifida is very expensive. It runs from $10,000 to $10,000 to $30,000 at some time. So it's not small money. But together, when all of us come together, we'll be able to raise these funds to support these kids. Like Dr. Jabang and Fat Job mentioned earlier, when this project started, we could not get any information from anywhere. there was very, very limited information. But we came to find out due to research and hard work with Dr. Javang's team and the rest of the group that this is very, very common in Gambia. And it's very, very common with people who are less fortunate, in fact. So even average Gambians spending $10,000 right out of the bag is very, very difficult. It's not an easy thing. So that's the reason why these people need all this support. There's a lot of things that is involved in taking care of kids with spina bifida and hydrocephalus. We cannot eradicate all those things. The only thing that we can support is to reduce the financial burden on these families. We can do that. At least that part will be away, and then the rest of them, they will be motivated to be able to do their quota to support their child. So nothing is small. You have $5, $10, $100, whatever it is, whatever you think you will be able to contribute towards taking care of these kids, you can donate it. If you are in the Gambia, we have contact informations. If you go on our website, all these things are there. www.laminketashope.com. All these informations are on there. You contact people in the Gambia. There's account set up. You can individually go and deposit money in there. If you are in the West, every single avenue of you donating is there. You can go on the website. We have PayPal. We have GoFundMe. Right now, we have $5 challenge for people. Talk to people, yourself, your family members, your friends, your co-workers, whoever. They can donate. You just go to the website, and at the end of this presentation, we will also link the GoFundMe to this presentation so people can see it. But that's what we need. There's a lot of people that are waiting right now to have these procedures done. The longer they wait, the less chances they have to survive. And that being said, I will also express my condolence to the family members for the passing of their child due to complications and stuff like that. But this is the main reason why Lamin Keita's Hope is out to support and give the opportunities that families back here in the United States have. The opportunity for every single Gambian to have a standard health service that you don't have to worry about. The doctors will be available, the materials will be available for us to provide whatever service you need in your care, to give you the opportunity and those babies to give them the opportunity to live their full potentials. Spina bifida is not something new. Every single person that is on this board, we in the West, we saw people who have spina bifida that grow up to be playing very important roles in the community. Myself personally, I have a director who also have spina bifida. He have master's degree in health services, and he has spina bifida. So there is no limit for what these kids can do. But the support they need now is for us to give them whatever medical services they need to be able to achieve that goal. So please, brothers and sisters, go to the website, go to GoFundMe, on Facebook, PayPal. We have all that, and you can contribute on all that avenues. If you still don't know how to contribute, If you go on the website, there's phone numbers there. If you live in the West, if you live in the UK, or you live in United States, there are phone numbers there that you can call, and we will direct you to how you can make your contributions towards this organization. Together, we can do this. We cannot do it alone. And always remember, the kids are waiting, and their only hope is us. There is no other hope. We are the only hope that they have. Over to you, Dr. Jabang, for now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Bibi, for those wonderful words. And I guess everyone that is listening to this or watching us would know, get to our website, like Bibi said. You'll be directed as to what to do. Those of you that are in the Gambia, there are links that you can please come in, you can come and help. And also, those of you that want to know some of the things that we are doing, you want to come and see patients that have been registered, that is fine. You can always come to Banjul. We can tell you some of the few things that we are doing. Of course, not the detailed things that would demand the records of patients and their details and all that, and those are confidential. But people that want to know how far we do most of the things that we do, please, we would be more than welcome to show you. Again, I just want to thank everybody. We don't intend to take long today. Today is just a commemoration. And I want to tell everybody that we will be back again here. Hopefully, we are looking forward to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where we will come in all the different languages to actually talk about what Spina Bifida and hydrocephalus is, so that people would know that these are disease conditions that are treatable, and that when they see their kids having it, they should not hide at home. They should come to the hospital, and they should have a track, a way where to go, so that they can be seen. There's a clear path for it. That does not, you don't need to know anybody in the hospital. You don't need to be related to anybody in the hospital. Just follow the path. And that I like to say, there is always a path to any management. And as far as I know, to our own neurosurgical management, there is a path. And the people that suffer are the people that don't want to follow the path. Yeah, and then you keep running around, or you want to go, you want to look for us, but you wouldn't find us. Yeah, there is a path, and the path is simple. A child goes straight to the pediatric department. Once you are seen there, you will be shown what to do, and you would land on our hands. And if you're an adult, you can go to the accident emergency. And then there you can be seen. Some people that want to go to the private, where we sit, basically it's Medicare. That's where I do most of, because most of my time is in Banjul, and the little time that I have for those that want to be in the private, it's basically in Medicare. So again, there is a path. You don't need to be related to me. You don't need to know me. You don't need to be related to any of my relatives. If you have any neurosurgical problem, because we know we are very few in this country, and we know if we don't create a path, we will actually even die before our time comes. So we had to forcefully ensure that there is a system in place, and it's all about getting good systems in place. So we want to tell everybody that anyone that has it from Koina, once you get the path, you would be seen. From Banjul, you follow the path, you would also be seen. So once again, thank you all very much. I just want to end up by just saying some of the things that the Lamin Keita Hope has done. Bibi had mentioned, obviously, that the cure for, talked about the 10,000 dialysis. Okay, and that 10,000 dialysis even is basically just for the investigation, a brain CT scan plus a shunt. It's in the last 2 weeks that all the CT scans in the government setting were broken, because we had to resort to a private CT scan, which is a bit more expensive, and which is normal. It should be more expensive than what you would have in the government. But when you add the two together, then all that you have becomes just 10,000. But that is even different from the materials they need, the fluid that they need, the antibiotics that they need, and every other thing that they need. So that's basically different. So if you're going to have all that together, I tell you, it goes to more than almost close to 20,000 dialysis. That also shows you that the hospital, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, actually would spend close to 20,000 to 30,000 per patient. And that is why the hospital goes through what it goes through. And that is why the likes of the Lamin Keita Hope are more than needed to come and help and sustain the hospital. Basically, we have as at today, we have registered close to 20 people that have been registered. Operations that have been done, more than 12 people have been operated already. CT scans that have been done since when we started until today is almost about 10 CT scans. And remember, we just started 2 weeks and we had to stop because of the COVID, the surge in COVID, and it's just now that we are resuming. So that shows you how that the patients are there. The reason why we weren't having them before was the fact that they couldn't afford most of these things. So somebody comes in, you treat him for the spina bifida, and you say, okay, well, you need to go and pay $2,000 to do a shunt. The person goes, you wouldn't see them again because they don't have the $2,000 to come. Or not even to talk about, oh, you need to pay $6,500 for us to get you the shunt. Then you wouldn't even see them. But now that there are people, the Lamin Keita Hope is now helping and sponsoring these people, then we are beginning to see them more and more. And this is basically what we want. And the more we see them, the better the more we can take good care of them, and the better the outcome, just as it is said. So I think I just want to stop here, and I want to get back to everybody. If you want to have just some final thoughts, maybe somebody want to say something very short, within a minute or two, final thoughts, I want to give that. Aside from that, I want to wish all of you a happy World Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus Day.
Yeah, Faba, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
I was gonna say, before the day goes, it's all about our heroes, all the babies, all the kids, all our patients, everybody, including my own son, Lamin Keita. Today is his day. He's very excited, and he said thank you to you all. He's been following up what the organization have been doing. And one of the things he wants to do when he grow up is to help everybody. He got a big heart and a kind-hearted person. So he's very excited, and we are celebrating him and everybody around the world. And thank you from him to all of you. And we'll continue to celebrate all day. It's all about them. Thank you. And thank you to all our donors too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Baba, anything?
Che, you seem to be swallowed in darkness, right?
I know, I'm swallowed in darkness. The light is off. You know how it is. Gambia, no problem.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And then Dr. Javan, like you said, happy Spina Bifida Day, hydrocephalus to everybody. Please visit those places I mentioned. The fundraising is going to continue. Together we can do this. Together we can support these kids and give them the opportunity that they need. You mentioned a very important part that now we are seeing more and more people because of the support that is available to them. Most of them, when they come in the past, and you mentioned $2,000 just to do the CT scan, you will not see them again. So if they are going away for $2,000, you're definitely not going to see them for $20,000 if they are going away for $2,000. So this is the reason why we need all the possible support that we need. One thing I just want to mention for our brothers and sisters that have businesses and establishments in the United States, the Lamin Keita Hope is a non-profit organization that is registered with the 501c in the state of North Carolina, so the whole United States. So if you donate to these organizations, we will send you information for you to deduct it from your taxes. So it's tax deductible. So this is an opportunity for you to support in two different ways: support your brothers and sisters back home, and also reduce your taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, again, for all your time and support. Without you, we cannot do it.
Thank you, everybody. I couldn't be more proud. Dr. Jaban, you and your team, you are doing a wonderful job. And I'll tell you that I am really, really proud of you. I want to thank the board members, every single one of us, for doing what we are doing. This is a tough job. Everybody sacrifices their time and everything to put all these things together. The setup, the logistics, and all of it costs money and time. And everybody on the board is just doing that out of goodwill and out of their pockets and their time. Lamin's story is just, it just explains to you how much a care means to an individual if you give it. Okay, when he was born, he was told, by the doctors that he won't walk, he'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Okay, but they took the time, they followed every single thing they were told by the experts. They cared for him. They followed along with every single follow-up that was given. He is now playing soccer. He's riding bicycles. He's doing every single thing that you can do or no other kids can do. So that only tells you that if you care for if you care for kids, they will grow up to be anything. Okay. And that is a duty for every single person. It's not just the duty of the parent to do it. It's for every single person. All the viewers out there, we're telling you, we're asking you to, look upon yourselves and understand that, we all have a role to play for in the lives of kids. So we are asking you to, support the organization, whatever amount you can. It doesn't even have to be money. If you want to donate anything to the organization, just reach out. You can go to the website, look along contact numbers over there. Let us know what you can do for us. Okay. We will really appreciate that. You've heard it from Dr. Jabon. So far, 20 people have been registered in Gambia within this short period of time. We're less than 6 months. And if 10 of those kids have been saved, I don't know about you, but that is a big deal for me. One single person, if he or she is saved, that's a big deal for me. So we're asking every person, a baby's life is important. And I'm pretty sure it's important to everyone. So take it upon yourself, $5, $10, $1, $10 is, $5 is, wherever you are, if you can give it, we really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. That's the able secretary, and I'm sure he would close us for the day. Thank you so much, Faba. Thank you for all the sacrifice, right? Thanks. Once again, thank you, the Keita family. Thank you, the board. Thank you, the local chapter. Thank you, our patients. On behalf of Lamin and all kids and families with Spina Bifida and hydrocephalus, we want to wish you a happy and a very memorable World Spina Bifida and hydrocephalus day. Come your way. All right, that's it for now. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Keita, what hour did we use? Thank you, everyone, and thanks for the meeting. And Fatu Job and Dr. Jabang, Bibi, Fawa, and everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for your time.
Bye. You guys have a wonderful day.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Say hi to everybody. Say hi to
Thank
Haruna
you,
over there.
everybody. And thanks to all our donors.